Hello students, welcome to EduRev.
Next few minutes, we will unpack 8 current affairs items: GBS outbreak, US bullying diplomacy, higher education reform, Section 17A of the PCA, a Gaza peace plan, Piprahwa Relics, Dugong conservation, and the Samakka Saralamma festival, and link each to prelims facts and mains analysis. Let's begin with the GBS outbreak in Madhya Pradesh and why it matters for health governance questions. Guillain-Barré Syndrome is an autoimmune neurological disorder in which the body attacks the peripheral nervous system, often damaging the myelin sheath and disrupting nerve signals. Clinically, GBS presents with progressive muscle weakness, difficulty walking, swallowing, and breathing problems, and in severe cases may lead to paralysis. Details that are often tested in prelims under medical conditions. Key triggers include bacterial infections such as Campylobacter jejuni and viral agents like influenza and Zika, and rarely post-vaccination associations are reported. So, outbreak linkage questions can appear in ethics and public health contexts. Treatment essentials include plasma exchange, intravenous immunoglobulin therapy, and supportive ICU care with ventilatory support when required. These interventions illustrate state capacity and emergency response frameworks. For UPSC, remember the public health angle. Outbreak investigation, contaminated food and water links, and coordination with health systems are high-yield points for both prelims and mains examples. Moving on, consider US foreign policy under the Trump-era playbook, often described as bullying diplomacy, and how the Greenland episode fits into strategic competition. This diplomacy used pressure tactics, tariffs, threats, deal-making to secure resources and influence, reflecting a transactional foreign policy style. The Greenland episode highlights Arctic importance for minerals, new sea routes, and strategic advantage. And it shows how great power competition pushes actors like China and Russia into the region. For UPSC, Arctic geopolitics tests your knowledge of sovereignty issues, the polar code, and global governance challenges over new resource frontiers. So link theory of international relations with current facts. Next is the deep structural crisis in India's higher education sector that the Supreme Court has actively addressed. Many institutions report huge faculty vacancies, sometimes reaching 50%, while contractual and guest faculty dominate, eroding teaching quality and academic continuity. Privatization trends raise access and affordability concerns and political conflicts. Especially, state versus governor disputes have delayed key appointments, undermining institution building. The Supreme Court invoked Article 142 to issue 9 directives, including urgent faculty recruitment, measures to reduce student suicides, and safeguards for quality and equity. This illustrates judicial intervention in policy gaps. In mains answers, connect these directives to the demographic dividend risk. If reforms stall, demographic advantage could turn into a socio-economic burden. Now turn to Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act and the debate over prior sanction for investigating public servants. Section 17A requires prior approval before probing official decisions, a provision meant to protect honest officers and allow decisive governance. Critics argue prior sanction can delay accountability and enable impunity, creating a tension between efficient administration and anti-corruption enforcement. Constitutional linkage appears through Article 14, questions of equality before law, and precedents like the Vineet Narayan case. So frame your mains answers around rights, institutional checks, and remedies. Let's look at the Gaza peace plan and West Asia geopolitics in a concise, exam-friendly way. The plan proposes phased Israeli withdrawal, an international peace board potentially led by the United States, exclusion of Hamas from governance, and invitations to multiple regional actors, including India and Pakistan. India's participation seems unlikely given strategic sensitivities and Pakistan's inclusion. So anticipate foreign policy stance questions and the diplomatic calculus behind neutrality or selective engagement.
For UPSC, be fluent with maps of Gaza, the West Bank, key regional players, and the complex diplomacy challenges that frame any peace initiative. Shifting to heritage, the Piprahwa Relics discovery in Uttar Pradesh links archaeology with cultural history and prelim-style facts. Excavations found relics believed to be associated with Lord Buddha, including bone fragments, crystal caskets, ornaments, and Brahmi inscriptions, with textual references to distribution to 8 kingdoms mediated by figures like Drona. This is a high-yield prelims topic. Relic stupas. Buddhist sites and inscriptional evidence are frequently tested under culture and archaeology. Conservation and environment topics include dugong protection, which combines ecology with policy. Dugongs are marine herbivores that feed exclusively on seagrass and function as ecosystem engineers by maintaining seagrass. Health facts useful for biodiversity and ecology questions. They inhabit shallow, warm waters in the Indian Ocean region and are listed as vulnerable by the IUCN, making their conservation status relevant to environment and biodiversity syllabi. India's conservation efforts include the International Dugong Conservation Centre at Manora, Tamil Nadu. A useful factual pointer for prelims and for mains examples on community-based conservation. Finally, the Samakka Saralamma festival in Telangana is a living cultural tradition with UPSC relevance. Held at Medaram in the Dandakaranya region, it is one of the largest tribal gatherings in the world and honors tribal resistance figures Samakka and Saralamma. The ritual practice of offering jaggery instead of wealth and the festival's tribal history are important under art and culture, social inclusion, and regional heritage themes. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this overview, explore the full lessons and notes on EduRev to deepen your preparation gently and confidently. Stay curious, keep linking facts to concepts, and all the best with your UPSC journey.